So the Indianapolis Colts have one of the worst rosters, and ESPN has them ranked 30th out of 32 NFL rosters. Pretty sad, pretty like depressing. You know, you look at it and you're like, damn, no one likes the team. No one thinks the team is going to be good. And when you look at it from the outside, when you look at, you know, yeah, they're studying the game, so not really from the outside, but when you just take a quick glance at it and you look at the Colts roster, the depth chart, you're like, yeah, it makes sense. You know, the Colts have a bright future, and I agree with that. I agree with the Colts being this low, but I don't agree with the fact that they think that the Colts don't have a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent. It's just a matter of fact of how it's going to translate and look on the field. You could look, you know, you could say any team looks great on paper, but no one cares if you make it to the season and you're horrible. What it looks like on paper doesn't matter. What, you know, the best we could do is watch film, study these players, study the film, study the schemes, and see what works best, see who they can maybe beat with this scheme. You know, you can get all in depth with it, but ultimately, you don't know how players are going to play together, how they're going to play in the scheme. There's so many different big questions about this Colts team, and that is what tanks the power ranking, or just, you know, what people think of this team. You know, it starts at quarterback, Anthony Richardson. That's the most important one. Real quick, we're just going to generalize some of the important positions, the big questions. You look at the quarterback room, very inexperienced. Cornerback room, very inexperienced. Really, the entire secondary, outside of Julian Blackmon and Kenny Moore, there's not much. Although Rodney Thomas had he enjoyed a nice rookie year last year. Kid out of Yale. I believe he was in the 7th round as well. He was drafted, so hopefully he can get it figured out. And of course, with Isaiah Rodgers having that problem, you know, he brought himself. He did it to himself, and you know, he not only hurt the team. You know, he not only hurt himself, but he dramatically hurt the team because he had a chance to come in and, you know, he had 1 year, young player. He had 1 year left in the rookie deal. He had a real shot to take on a big responsibility on the boundary, and ultimately walk away. You know, ultimately continue his career and get a nice little payday. Not. I'm saying little. He probably would have been paid $10 to $12, $13 million years. If he had a pretty damn good year, maybe 15. But that would have been 1 year at cornerback 1, which I don't think would have happened in that way, but we're not going to do much more into that. So, you got my point. You know, you go to the wide receiver room, it's like, yeah, all these guys have a lot of potential. All these guys can be really good. But none of them have proven to be consistent from season to season, from play to play, to game. You argue Pittman has a little bit. I still have my doubts with Pittman. I still have my questions for Pittman. Same goes for the offensive line. I'm excited to have a new voice and a leader, Shane Steichen, and maybe that instills that nastiness back into this offensive line that helps Quentin Nelson return to form, because Quentin Nelson had a down year. He had a 91% win rate on pass blocks, and that ranked 41st amongst guards in the NFL. So hopefully he could get himself back up there and start playing like he did in his first 3 years when he had all-pro nods for 3 first-team all-pro nods every single year in his first 3 years. One other player to do that is Barry Sanders. Impressive. So there are too many big questions. That's why I understand. And this team can be very good. They have strong talent. And the thing is, in the places where it's most important, that's where you have the biggest risk, yet the biggest reward factors. Brents can be very good. He could also tank. I think Darius Rush is going to emerge. I think Darius Rush is going to be impressive. I think he might emerge as the top dog. He probably won't. I think that's kind of a bold prediction because Brents is very good. Very athletic, very lengthy. There's a lot to love about him. But I can also see Darius Rush enjoying a similar season to Julius Brents just due to the sheer amount of experience that he's going to be forced to have. Other than Delias Flowers, in the cornerback room, there's no one else has played a snap, I don't think. So, yeah, you go all around and, You know, whether it's the Colts' strengths at the offensive line, whether it's the quarterback carousel, that continues. Hopefully that ends this year. It's ended, kind of. There are too many big questions and too many big areas, if that makes sense. Now, I think this team is very talented, but they belong at the bottom because we don't know how it's going to coagulate. We don't know how it's going to come together. And that's where, you can't rank a team. You can't rank a team high based off what ifs and say that they can do this. Any team absolutely can do that, but will they? Will they actually be able to follow through, bark with the big dogs, bite with the big dogs? Will they be able to run with the big dogs? Probably not. This roster needs experience. They just need time. They just need to play. A lot of young players, and there's a lot to look forward to. But you have to understand where ESPN's coming from. You have to understand where a lot of these networks and just other YouTube channels and outside perspectives. You have to understand. You have to step back and pull your bias down and realize that Anthony Richardson might be absolute dog crap at throwing the ball year one. He may throw a lot of interceptions. He may not be very accurate year one. Now, some things are difficult to improve on, but I think the most important thing for Anthony Richardson is going to be what is for the rest of the roster, experience. And having so many players, so many big important positions with too many big question marks, I understand. And I agree with ESPN. Because you can't rank a team predicting they're going to answer all these questions. You can't do that. You have to look at where they are now, where their experience level is now, and you have to go off of that. And the Colts being at 30, it makes sense. I understand it. And you have a new head coach. I hope Shane Steichen's going to get it done. I hope he's going to be a great head coach. I thought that about Nathaniel Hackett. Now, I think Shane Steichen is definitely going to be better than Nathaniel Hackett. I don't think you get that bad. I'm sorry. I forgot about Urban Meyer in Jacksonville. That was pretty bad. So, there's just too many questions. And that's what I'm going to keep saying, so I'm not going to keep you here too much longer. Now, I do think the strengths, I do want to talk about the strengths a little bit. The strength is, and we know where we have some talent, is the defensive line. We don't have many questions about that. We know DeForest Buckner is an elite, and he's consistent every single year. We know Big Grove and Grover Stewart is one of the best one-techs in the league. Can be a stone wall. You can't move him. We know that Kwity Paye is solid. And we have Samson Abukum. We have Ade Tamuwa, Ade Bor. Someone in the comments, someone told me how to say it, and I just keep forgetting it off the top of my head. But matter of fact, the defensive line is the room that you know the most of. Tight ends. That's room we didn't talk about. I'm kind of all over this video, but when you're getting your emotions out a little bit, I don't like to write scripts. I like to bring it from the heart, not try and say it in a way that's going to make you guys happy or, someone else happy. Coming off from the heart. So, tight end room, it's the same exact thing as the wide receiver room. They all have potential. But how are they going to be now? What are they now? They're nothing as of now. So, and the wide receiver room and the tight ends both have the ability to be incredible rooms. Wide receiver can be a very deep room. I think it is a very deep room. I don't think it's very top heavy. Michael Pittman has a lot to prove. Alec Pierce, I think he's going to make that step up. But you can't predict off of what you think will happen, or off of you can't rank off of a prediction. I think that's where a lot of people get power rankings and predictions confused. Honestly, I think a lot of people predicting their power rankings and not actually rank them where they are at the moment. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of upside. And they're probably going to be pretty stinking bad year one. Yeah, they have talent. But is that talent ready yet? Is it going to be ready? Are they going to be able to answer these questions? You can't predict and say the Colts are going to be a top 15 roster by predicting they will all be answered. Because they won't. Some will. Some great things will happen. Also, with such an inexperienced team, a lot of bad is going to happen. So, you guys let me know what you think about ESPN ranking the Indianapolis Colts roster at number 30. Give your opinion on my opinion. I'd like to hear your thoughts. So, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, and I am signing off.